What's up, Ruiz? Hey, a regular friend of the show, first person in. That's not normal that happens. Appreciate you being here, man. Sorry if I'm late on that. Just setting up. What's up, Ruiz? Hey, a regular friend of the show, first person in. That's not normal that happens. Appreciate you being here. Sorry if I'm late on that. Just setting up. What's up, Ruiz? Hey, a regular friend of the show, first person in. Welcome to everybody to Dad's Workshop. Box commenter, box commenter. I should have done tongue twisters before I got on here today. That's where I messed up. Invisible King, shout out. What's up, Invisible King? Welcome. It is very nice. It's not in the 80s. Where are you at, Reese? It's like feels like 70s, honestly, man. It says it's in the 50s, like on the news, but it feels like 70s, 60s or 70s. I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. I could see that in Texas. Though you all just got snow. My folks just got from down there. Not Texas, but Mobile and southern Alabama. So, and we're in North Carolina. So mild and nice in North Carolina today. Started a little, chilly this morning, but that's relative. I'm gonna put my microphone over here on the table so I don't bump into it a bunch. Yeah, we're in North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. Apparently, this part of North Carolina is home to many YouTubers. Some that you may be widely familiar with, such as Mr. Beast. He's from right around the corner here. I like to think of myself as a YouTuber in that same class, but we all know the truth. Yeah, but I don't understand the question. Have I seen his show on Amazon? Nah, but my kids talk about it a lot. Yeah, my kids talk about it quite a bit. I got to make sure that these braces are cut from the right sides. So this one, set on the other side, so they're alternating. Should be essentially the same thing, right? Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, and these little braces have to be cleaned up a bit. A little chiseling on them and whatnot. I'm going to move my camera in a little bit. Seems like that kind of affects my viewership. Well, right now it's just braced on either side of the long end, right? So I think you've seen it. I can move the camera so you can see it real quick though. I'll put this microphone on just real quick here. Here's the braces right here. They're actually single 2x4s, right? This hasn't been cinched together. You can see the mortise is not exactly like in place. The braces for the back piece that's going to run from here to the other post, it's going to be a bridle joint. It runs across the top. The braces will be 2 laminated 2x4s for that. I might actually work on this brace, clean up these first. I'm gonna get this little mirror so I can see my kind of cut line. Little handy dandy mirror over here. Yeah, no problem. I'm here to like be accountable and show you all what I'm doing. I'm not just blowing smoke up people's butts. I'm actually building something, and you're a regular in here, man. I don't mind showing you whatever is going on. I'll take this little sand block, put my mirror up right here so I can see my line. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. This doesn't feel super sharp. That one does. Man, I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. And remember, we have, not to blow, to blow my own horn here, but we have built this piece with no plans so far. Everything's just been like rough dimensions. I'm going to give everybody plans once I've finished this thing and I can get the dimensions down for sure. But right now, because I don't do computer aided design, I'm doing everything like by hand. My dimensions, I got to put them up in the air until I get a mattress on there, and I know for sure, you know. Yeah, Mr. Beast was who I was talking about there for a minute. Yeah, it is it works because you can see your line on the other side. It's like an extra set of eyes for you. You don't go past your cut line. Now you know what happened when you used the hack to weld. Said I used that hack to weld, but now I know. Yeah. If you now you know you can use it in woodwork. Yeah. Probably best to secure your mirror to something. My bench shakes a little, as you all know, but it gives me enough. Like, and I also can kind of see the edge, the straightness of this edge here, which I want to be very, very straight. So. Computer aided design is great, and if you have a super expensive CNC router, you can cut an entire timber frame house out. But where the human creativity and the human ability to cut those joints, like, and do the fitting that's required, unless you cut everything perfect, and the woodworking experience to know how to put it together, I don't think that those should be taken for granted. So CAD is great, and I think pretty soon, I mean, I do animation, so I'm probably going to animate some of these things, and I bet there's some similarities with CAD and animation. Yeah, I mean, I really like to do stuff by hand. I think it gives you a certain level of proficiency. Just like being a good musician, if you're a good pianist, you're going to make, good beats on any given beat program, generally, if you're creative. If you're a good musician, you're going to understand the components of good music and how you make it, Getting close to that line. I'm going to shut this door real quick, guys. See, I got my little mirror right there, so I can see that line. I'm getting very close to that line now. This shoulder we want very straight as well. Want the shoulder square. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And then what kind of equipment would I need to do all of that stuff? I'm always like, I'm not a type that's going to always fight every trend and stuff. I don't do things to be traditional. Actually, I do things because the traditional way is the best way. And so it's the way everybody should learn by default. If you can build something with no nails, no screws, no fasteners, then adding fasteners makes it even better. You know, you have even stronger pieces. So that's my philosophy. The goal at first here is to build a bunk bed with no metal fasteners, you know. And if we have to put some on, I'm not going to call it the end of the world, you know. Right now I'm trying to get this shoulder very square. But that's definitely, I always strive to make these pieces, and I think I need it. I think I need to make stuff by hand. It's building me as much as I'm building it, as corny as that sounds, you know. When I'm building something, it's building up my confidence. It's reminding me that everything is at our fingertips. Everything we need is really near us. And I try to always, like, I have tough days, got my issues and stuff. Watch some of my other videos and you'll know. But I definitely believe that every moment that you have in life is a new moment, is an opportunity to embrace that newness. Every day you're a different person. You have the opportunity to be a better person, to get better at something. Everything with quality, that's my ethos. Oh yeah, this is a nice sharp chisel, man. Nice sharp chisel today. I went after him last week. I don't know if you were in that live last week where I did another chisel sharpening. This was one I sharpened and I haven't used it, and I'm barely even touching it right there to get that. Like, I'm barely putting any force behind it. Kind of letting it lead me where there's uneven spots on here. I'm gonna go back and make sure all my other braces, like the ones that you saw. Yeah. Hey, Brian Alexander, friend of the show, welcome. Brian Alexander. I see the cut line, looking at the video image and looking at my line there. I'm just a little shy of it. Uh, I'll take a couple little pair swipes out of here. This larger chisel. almost acting like a shoulder plane when you have it flat, right? Flatten it against it. Even though there is a slight bevel, it's acting like a shoulder plane. Probably the best thing now to do is flip it around with the mirror on the other side, because you see right here it's a little high. That's looking pretty good though. What I need is, I need this brace, I need the other brace, then I got to cut bridle joints for the top, and I have wood to laminate for that, so that'll be the back half of this show. Like when you're cutting braces, this is a certain type of brace, and let me pull it up for a second. Let me pull it up on my phone. There's a specific name for these type of corner braces. These are ones that are generally done when you have two going into the same location. Let's see. And I should know this, but I'm like they're going, you got two braces coming in the same post. This is the style of brace that you generally do. And I'm going to find it here. Like they're going, you got two braces coming in the same post. This is the style of brace that you generally do. I had it saved so I could tell y'all, and because it's not something I commonly would say. I just would call them a brace. But it's where the shoulder is offset to one side. Generally, on the big ones, you'll see the tenon is in the middle, but on these, yeah, it's yeah, that's all I need for that, unless I need to adjust it. Just make sure I'm answering questions on here besides this yakking. Yeah, so Ruiz, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch it over to the other side and check it out. It does look machined. Appreciate that. I take that as a compliment, man. Now, this one's not quite as pretty right now. It's got to be fixed up just like that one. Yeah, I did these with all hand tools. So hand saw to get the corners, and chisels. I'm not even gonna trip on this because Ruiz, you're a definite friend of the show. You should definitely join the Discord if you're not in there already, Ruiz, so that we can talk more. You definitely are like a great participator. I love how my people are always really good in here. I want to start just opening my Discord while I'm on here and kind of checking that out. This one you don't get as good an angle on with the camera because of where it's positioned. I could probably angle us a little differently here. That's kind of a better angle right here where you can see the line. You can kind of see it. That's maybe a little too much. We'll just go about right here. So I'm looking at this one. It is almost at the line, but it's uneven. It looks like this side is a little bit higher. I see the line right there. So this side needs to be pared down a little bit. It's way up above that other side. And this grain looks like it's going to be difficult for me. There's probably a knot around here. That's why it looks so ugly. Depending on the grain direction, sometimes you have to chisel in a different way, you know. You learn this stuff after you work a lot of wood, but you know, you might be able to plane in one direction and not in the other. And I don't mean perpendicular to that. I mean, you're planing in one direction, you try to come from the other side and it doesn't work. It grabs the grain wrong, you know. It's weird. Wood behaves, man. It has a behavior. It'll let you work it some ways, and then, you know, it'll be difficult and you realize you're not working it the right way, you know. I'm gonna have to move the microphone because my stomach is down, and that's gonna annoy people. It may seem straight, the shoulder, but it's probably not, right? So you got to go back and really work that shoulder till you see it is 90 degrees. the way that looks on camera, not gonna lie. I'm kind of just taking my chisel and flattening the bottom of it out, the metal on that shoulder, now that it's relatively flat, and just pressing that thing forward to try to dry out the last bit of that unlevel wood that's on this shoulder. And it looks pretty straight, man. Maybe the best one I've ever cut. All right, now we got those two shoulders. What I got to do is disassemble some stuff so that I can take down these tie beams and measure out the distance. It's 18 inches from point to point, and then 25 inches is the square root, or the length of the hypotenuse of the triangle. Thank you. Yeah, I love the ASMR too. Yeah, it's a combo of woodwork and ASMR, definitely, and truly is both of them. So we relax. I answer questions. I'm not lazy. I'm not here to just be lazy. But what I got to do now is I got to take these tie beams here. I got to take this tie beam in particular, and I have to measure 18 inches. From the point where the triangle begins. Essentially, you're going to see on this side from here, 18 inches down, I got to make a mark. Now that's going to guide me, but I also size my brace against the actual tie beam just to make sure my housing is straight. Also, there has to be holes cut into these, and they need to be more. They're square. And there needs to be more inside the housing than out here. So that when I put a peg in, it presses this against that. That's like a key component of this through mortises. So I don't know if y'all could see any of that. What I was saying was, as you see down here, you've got pegs through, and these are just temporary pegs. This one's actually a better peg. The size of the peg is more appropriate. That's going to be what goes through up there too. It's going to pin these two together. It's going to pull that in also on the other side. So we'll have that redundancy, both pins in there. And then there will be a brace that will be placed right here. If you can't see me, it's going to be right here, just like on the other sides. And what I have to do now is I have to very carefully measure, lay out, and cut that brace housing, what we call the brace pocket. I almost don't want to put this on camera because if I drop something or break something, that's embarrassing. And I don't want that to happen, but it could happen when I'm taking these things apart. I might actually go ahead. I might actually do, uh-oh, I lost my mic. Looks like I lost my microphone, so give me 1 second. Can you hear me now? I had to take that mic out. It has to charge. It's telling me it's not charged. So yeah, it's going to be kind of quiet for a minute anyways while I take this beam down. I'm going to have to be real careful. I'm going to have to put some structural supports up to hold those things while I do this. This is going to be kind of tricky. The other thing I need to do is I need to laminate beams. So I need to take 2x4s and laminate them. That might be what I do now, rather than doing this crazy stuff. I might save this for the live tomorrow, but here's the brace that you see that we just worked on. This brace is going to go against this, probably on this side here. It'll be inside of there. And so I'll size it, I'll measure it and size it and just do a whole bunch of measurements. Make sure that I'm not going to be off on that. Then I have one more brace. I have one more brace. Around here somewhere, I got a brace. And that one has to have to cut another one out too. I might do some of that right now. I've got a whole bunch of things I can do. So I need to take that down, do some measurements. But what I'm gonna do now, I think, is I'm actually gonna cut this brace right here that's in front of you. Not that one, the other one over there, because I need another one. And it's a little more friendly for this kind of show. So we'll do that. I'm going to set this up as close as possible so the mic will work. This was my first one that I laid out. I actually think it may be too big. I'm gonna have to lay a whole nother brace out. So each length of the triangle besides the hypotenuse is 18 inches. So the length of the end to end of this piece has to be 25 and 7/16. I rounded that up to 25 and a half. It's pretty close. Pretty close though is tough in this business because of you. Yeah, I actually think that's accurate. Generally, you want to do your layout lines with a knife. See if that worked to zoom out. Zoomed all the way out. Set it back. There we go. There we go. This is tough with this diagonal angle. It wants to stray. Let me check my tenon size real quick. That's actually the tenon side, so I don't want to cut that. I gotta flip it. It's gonna get planed off, so that won't even matter. Oh, so there's no layout lines over here. Well, might as well do that. Yeah, Ruiz. I built my little other workbench and my little tool holder, but I didn't put a tremendous amount of energy into it. I know I got to speak up for that internal mic. I only put the necessary amount of energy to make them look decent and do the job. That was my main goal, was they hold tools and hold stuff up while I'm working on it. Like, I didn't make them try to look good. Like, a lot of YouTube woodworkers have some pretty workbenches. I don't even know how they do work on them, because like, you would get your workbench all messed up no matter what. But I do like the more wood butchery kind of woodwork, so that's why I don't mind having a more rugged bench, some more crude tools, and more crude working. I'm not trying to make fine cabinets, really, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So the recess in that is going to be, the tenon is the larger part, the 1/2 inch down is the recess. So I might have been cutting the right side. Tenon is the larger part. Right, so that's 1/2 inch, so that's that side. Man, this was really cut rough. I didn't do a very good job on this. I think it's because it was my first one. I need this to be here. See if I can solve it out with the camera. If I get blowout, I can't worry about that. I gotta just get this line right. With this terrible saw. This is a Harbor Freight saw, guys. Sorry, Harbor Freight. Complete trash. I'm gonna check in if I'm still on that line. Yeah, I'm all right. Hate the saw though. This piece is not secure either. I don't break the rules here. Try to get this more secure. Blowout this kind of wood is going to do that. But that front looks like it's close to that cut line. Nope, not really. Laminating. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I feel like I had you in here last time. Welcome back. Friend of the show, Laminating. I'm gonna leave that like that and pare it the rest of the way down with a chisel. I'm gonna do the other side though. Sorry about my microphone situation, guys. My mic is charging right now, though. I'll have it up in a second. Small parts are cut. Always cut a piece. Yeah, that was correct. Before I start cutting another one. I'm gonna have to pare that back a bit, but I can see I'm kind of off the line. Sorry about that. Good enough for government work. And you can see I'm a little off that line here, but I'm thinking my cut line is actually correct. This line this is just as a stop cut, so I can get rid of material easier. And like up here, I want to make some chisel cuts so that I don't blow out wood up there. It's going to be tricky because my bench doesn't like to lock stuff in vertical position. That may be enough for me to do this. It's not going to take that right now. And I'm not going to make a stop cut there. I'm going to put it flat. Oh, you asked this last time. I don't know. I made this mallet custom. It's about, so it's got 4 inches of ash side to side. I don't know if I was going to say how much it weighed. I would have to weigh it out. It's made out of ash, and then I put a little bit of cherry on the edges of it, but probably, so that's 4 1-inch thick pieces of ash on the top, and then another like similar piece of ash for the handle. I think it's only 2 to 3 pounds, but it's got a lot of surface area, which makes it nice. I enjoy it. I made it on the show, so. I shouldn't move at all. That's against the grain too, guys, you know. So sharp tools are nice. If you can do whatever way is going to get it done the most accurate, it's the way you want to do it. This one wants to chip, so I'm going to have to. Don't want to hit your chisel against your clamp though. That's definitely not something you want to do. I'm glad I did this because I needed to cut one more brace anyway. Sounds like my truck. Actually, yeah, man, sawing takes a while and it's a pain, especially with my crappy saw. So, that sounds like it's my vehicle. Yeah, if your chisels are, there's a knot up here. This is gonna be a bear right here. It's right in the worst spot too, in the top corner. It's gonna make me take chunks out that I don't want to. Unfortunately, it looks like. I should have mapped out where the knots were. One more thing you gotta think about. Heather, is that my truck? Heather in the chat? Hold on, y'all. You're not getting my microphone too. try to hook that microphone back up. But I care of it. I need my little clip that goes with this. I think I probably have mic power now. Check, check, check. Appreciate your concerns. Yep, I'm fine. Everything's fine, I think. True story, a school paid me $50 an hour to do this over the summer. That's the most I've ever made an hour. So as sad as that may be. So like what you're getting on here is like free what they were paying me $50 an hour to do. So. Also love to answer any questions too. Was that my truck, Heather? You find out Ellen Weaver's in the neighborhood. Inside joke. Don't try to make sense of it. No, it was only a temporary job. It was only for like 3 or 4 weeks, man. It was really a good job. It was from a grant that came during the pandemic to the schools where I had unlimited amounts of budget too for like for material. So I bought a bunch of cherry and ash and got big, beautiful, like perfectly sawn boards. So the kids had like better materials than any beginning woodworking class ever has. Highest end stuff. We built our own workbench in the class, so I got 2x4s and we built it. And I had workstations on the board, like 8 to 10 workstations, so there was enough space that everybody had their blood circle. They weren't going to cut anybody with a chisel, you know. This is where this knot is here, and this is why it's acting odd down here. So I'm just being careful about approaching that area. It's already pared down because when I went down in, it started grabbing other wood in a way that told me I was not dealing with a normal grain. You know, you get a feeling for it after a while. Like the normal wood is going to act a certain way. If it's got a knot, it might behave differently. And anywhere near the knot too, because the grain direction has changed. Oh yeah, every one of my kids, I had like 100 students. Every one of them used the bandsaw too. If you can imagine, like rowdy kids from the hood too, man. Not kids from affluent community. Kids from a poor community who had very little exposure to, you know, just in education in general, but people with skills also, unfortunately. So every one of them used the bandsaw, and I was really proud of that. I taught them all to use the bandsaw, and each one of them used it safely. No one cut their fingertips off, and that I felt really good about. One little girl actually made herself a box with it was partly like dado, and she did a dovetail. It took her like the whole time just to get these joints for this box, and it was really impressive. She had what it took. Yeah, actually, man, I went to a school with a pretty decent budget. We had wood shop, but we didn't have a special free summer wood class where, we had free materials, free cherry wood, free class all day, free maple, and the kids were able to get instruction over the course of an entire day, basically in wood shop class. Some of them had my class twice. Um, so yeah, I could tell them the same thing. Sometimes the underprivileged communities, the grants and stuff come for them, and so programs that you would never see in like an affluent school, which is it's ironic, but fitting in some ways. Programs you wouldn't see in affluent schools, you'll see in a poor urban school or a poor rural school, but usually more urban schools because the rural schools are neglected. And I've seen them both, so I know. Seen the urban. I taught in the District of Columbia in D.C. when it was still D.C. and not the gentrified paradise that people think it is now. And then I taught in a poor county in Virginia for a while. Enough. I did it enough times. I shouldn't even be talking about it because it's in the past. There is just a issue right here that's going to bother me until I attack it. Yeah, there's a definite lot of gnarliness going on in this wood right here that you can't see. Some of it is under the surface. This is my little mirror. Well, I got to experience like people showed me how to do stuff, grow plants and handle wood and do basic car stuff. Some people don't have that experience, no kind of background in that, and no one in their family is if they know it, they're not teaching it. So I was always a brain picker. I like to learn, I like to learn from people and not what they wanted me to learn, what I wanted to learn. Sometimes you learn from people in all kinds of ways. You can learn from somebody who's a complete fool, and you learn by their bad example, and you can learn what not to do and fade the actions of someone else. But I like to learn by people, always their personalities, their power of their personality would lead me to and from different things, Somebody really cool is that you think is, cool and charismatic is skateboarding. You're going to want to try skateboarding, Or if somebody shows you when you're little how to cut wood and you didn't like it then and you're kind of a brain picker, you might like it later and then remember the things you were taught. So. Yeah. This piece of wood right here is going to have to go completely. There we go. That was easy. I saw these little tiny pilot cuts in the end, so I was almost at the line, not quite. Thanks for coming to Dad's Workshop. Let me give a special shout out to Ruiz, who's hung out with me this whole time. Good questions, good topics, patient listener. Shout out to Ruiz, listener of the day, friend of the show. I think maybe right here is going to have to come down just slightly. I'm afraid to do it though. The direction of the grain, it's not going to let me do it cleanly, I don't think. There we go. You know I'll be back here again tomorrow, Louise. You can come by and after I wrap it up today, make sure you join the Discord and drop some thoughts on there and hang out with us all the time. I'm here to talk Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would like to do Thursday too, but maybe a little more than I can handle at the moment. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5:30. We're here, as you may know, as you've been here before. All right, I'm going to leave that side like that for a moment. Switch over to the other side. I'm going to have to be clamped funny here. Last side of this brace we're going to do for today, and then I'm going to laminate those boards and we'll wrap it up at that. I may not even do a clean job of this yet. I've got my stop cuts, I believe, in place here. If not, do those right now. I'm going along the line and just hitting it with a couple taps so that if I get the grain really heavily with a swipe of the chisel, it won't go past that line. Well, it could, but it's going to be less of a chance of it going past that line. These are little things you learn. I believe it's called a stop cut. That's what I was taught. So now that I've done that stop cut all the way around, gives me a little bit of insurance. I could probably take some of this waste out pretty simply here. I think I might actually chisel at it like this, but I got to make sure it's real tight. Actually, all this chiseling has dulled my chisel a bit today. See, last time you saw that I cut that line through it, that actually helps remove the waste a little bit. Probably a combo of this. Yeah, my clamps got to be tighter. Rule number one is secure your workpiece. So if it's not secure, you got to keep going, keep trying until it's secure. And hopefully you guys can see from that angle. Preventing fractures. Right. So you make stop cuts so that you don't blow out wood beyond the area that you're trying to cut it from. So you can see on this shoulder here, I'm not trying to cut beyond this triangle. So the first thing I did was make a saw cut there. I didn't try to chisel it out straight from scratch. I made a saw pilot cut, and that saw cut is allowing me to chisel next to it pretty freely here. So where I'm not worried about removing material from here. I just got to be careful with this. I don't want too much to come out here. I try to do it evenly so I can kind of pare down, kind of calmly, but it looks like I kind of neglected this little bit right here. So I got to go back and even that up a little. Let me put this, I'm hitting the microphone here, so I apologize, folks. Not right there. Right on the shoulder too. I'm still well above that cut line, I can see. Well, not so much on that side, so I'm uneven, but I haven't broken past that line or gone out of bounds yet. So Oh yeah, so the wood chips. Yeah, I use it. I just burn it, and sometimes I use the flakes from the planer as like decoration. Yeah, that's fine. It's a fair question. Today I'm thinking about getting all these wood chips from all these all these hand tools. You create a lot of wood chips if you're doing joinery, because you're removing a lot of wood material, structural material. So you end up with huge piles of wood chips. And I got to figure out something to do with them. Probably burn them, cook stuff on them. Because this wood, if you let it smolder, it actually is really good cooking wood. Kind of what they use in Puerto Rico. They all pallet wood is what they use down there. I think we had this conversation the other day. And that's where I'm going to leave that brace for now. Got two of them now that are almost cut. It's pretty even. I did a pretty decent job on that, if I do say so myself. And I do. And as you know, that's what they look like when they're on. So this one will go on this side, I think on the other side over here. And this was how it went on there. And it will be inset and 18 by 18 from the post. And that one looks like it fits really nicely, actually. Should fit right tight in there. Give it racking strength from long side end to long side end. And that's what we're looking to do right there. Now I got 2 braces. I think I did set my other one aside. Oh yeah, man, really good kindling, especially some of the larger chunks. I've got so much here, it'll burn for a long time, I'm sure. Yep, these are the 2 braces now you see. Not the same thing as your deck, okay? Decks are they just cut a 45-degree angle and they screw them up or they nail them up, right? That's not what we're doing here. We're building something we want to last for a lifetime. Hopefully you can still hear me even though my mic is way over here. We want the furniture to last a lifetime. That's the goal here with all of this. Next thing I'm going to do before I wrap it up, I might should wrap it up anyways, 88 minutes. We're going to go ahead and laminate the next set of beams. So remember, we do a lot of our work with just 2x4s that are laminated together. So conventional lumber, because it's accessible and cheap. It's more about what you do with the lumber than the quality of the wood itself. What can you do with the lumber, right? Let me put this stuff aside because I don't need any of these fine tools like chisels and all that. Protractor, and all that stuff. Mallet. Yeah, that's what we're trying to make, heirloom quality stuff. 2 braces, I'll put those over here with this. These are long pieces of lumber. And I used my beam saw the other day. I showed you all my beam saw, which is fun. It's a fun power tool that not that many people I know have. But I'm not going to saw it today. I'm just going to laminate both the boards. Check, check, check. Is there still an echo? check. Mic check. This is a very light 2x4 here. I kind of picked it because it was straight and light, and I have a lot of heavier pieces on here. So. I really am careful to sight these real well, but sometimes they end up having little bends and stuff in them that I don't anticipate. I might back the camera up even more so you can see the entire process. I think I'm going to skip the pipe clamps today because they take up so much space. And I'm just going to do as many of those clamps as I can. This is a really simple process. But what we're going to end up with here is basically a 4x4, and that's kind of an expensive piece of lumber. So if you can just make one yourself using 2x4s and it's straight enough, then you're golden. These two look pretty straight here. I like this side of this piece here with the writing on it. That's going to get taken off when I plane it. There's a slight bit of bowing on one of them. Can't tell which one, but they're going to get glued like this. So that's what you do now. You just butter it with glue. These little ketchup bottles work really well for glue. Can y'all see this? Yep, got to make 4x4s this way, or you got to order them. So we're going to make them this way. Add a sufficient amount of glue. Squeeze out's ugly, but it's better than not having strength between your boards. I'm going to glue this side too. Not as much though, probably. Maybe one stripe. Lamination, as far as combining wood, is like a key component of woodwork. You're never going to be able to make all your pieces out of solid wood. That's just not practical for most people. So you have to make your own wood. There's a great video on YouTube, deep in the depths of the YouTube deep cuts. There's this video of this Korean woodworker using Japanese techniques to build a cabinet, and he makes his own glue. And the way he makes this plywood, by burning the wood and then sandwiching it with white wood, so you have the two-tone black and white in the plywood, it was brilliant and beautiful. It opened my eyes to the beauty of the craft in itself and how you can really take it anywhere you want to take it. I'm not convinced there's enough glue because they're not like, if I put them on top of each other, well, they are sliding a little. I like it to like kind of resist my sliding, and I see some areas they don't look very. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Especially in the dry spots. And I want my ends to be right on with each other, so if I don't have to cut with the beam saw, I don't, because every time I use the beam saw, I have to set up a jig. So I don't want to have to use it if I don't need to. Start down here at the end and get each end pinched. Y'all can't see that, but I'm gonna come down to this end. I think you can see this end, right? If not, let's move it down a little. I want to make sure this side of the clamp is actually touching the wood, so my clamp is coming down straight if possible. Just a little thing. Probably with this kind of wood, I should shim it too, so that you don't see where the clamp marks. But that's not going to bother me right now. So squeezed out is already starting to come out, so I wipe that down as it comes out. Now that I got my ends clamped, I'm going to go down the board. I'm going to try to alter a little bit the direction of the clamp. You want to make it look like one piece of wood, if at all possible. You know, when you're joining this wood with lamination, you're trying to get it so tight, and that's where pipe clamps really help, because they'll press it so hard that it basically becomes one piece of wood. Oops. That's how I made my first table, because I had to cut the tree down. I cut the cedar tree down. I turned it into boards with a chainsaw, and then I joined the boards using dowel joinery, which I can show you on another day, how to use dowels to join boards side to side, right? in a way that they're structurally basically one board. You know, that's that I really dug into that with, but it's okay. I would generally put them on the top and bottom, but for the purposes of this video, well, let me put one under here. See, it's gonna make it tricky, especially for the camera here. I'm gonna get one more clamp because I think I need one more for this side. Maybe I don't have one more. We will find out, won't we? You usually can always spare one clamp. Yeah, that's kind of necessary. No, I'm gonna leave it down. I'm gonna take one of these ones though. I'm gonna move this one down because that one's already digging in that wood. And I don't love that. Nope, it's not the end of the world for me. I'm gonna put this one down here. And I think we got ourselves a beam setting now. I just need to get that towel so I can wipe out this squeeze out, which also got on my workbench. And you know, I don't know how those fancy woodworkers, some may say snobby woodworkers, don't get glue on their bench and everything's always clean all the time. Must not do much woodworking in there. They just press a plane against the thing, make a little video. I'm hating, sorry. This is me hating. All right, so what we got here is a laminating beam, a post basically, but this one is gonna be lateral. We're gonna have this going from side to side on this frame. I don't think I'm gonna get two out of this one. I will definitely get one and then another corner brace, which will be double width. So this will be a beam going, a tie beam from side to side. We will use a bridle joint to attach it. The bridle joint will go through the top of each post, and these will have like a little cut out and then the end, and it's going to hold it in exactly the place I want it to be in. So they will be turned into bridle joints. I'll laminate the other one tomorrow while I'm not on my live, and we'll use the beam saw and we'll cut them up and we'll go from there, man. We'll just keep making this bed, keep it moving. Nobody's quitting around here. Shout out to all my regulars. Ruiz, Brian Alexander came in, I think. Who else did I have in here today? Ahmad, welcome back. It's kind of a slow day, but you know, it's all right. Mondays are usually like this. Appreciate everybody. Love everybody. Another shout out to you, Ruiz. Hopefully see you back tomorrow. Hopefully you go and build yourself, start building something tonight. And, you know, we'll get some Discord activity about that. I want people to build stuff and put it on my Discord. And just show me what you're doing. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everyone. Hug somebody you love. Build something nice. And I will see you.